The seal shattered the moment my blood touched it, and I realized I'd staked the wrong thing. Behind me, 3 coffins cracked open. 3 pairs of crimson eyes locked onto mine, and every instinct I had screamed one impossible word. Mate. I'd been tracking this bastard for 6 hours. 6 hours through the French Quarter's maze of drunk tourists and overpriced beignet stands, following a scent trail that reeked of old blood and older magic. My boots stuck to something questionable on Bourbon Street, probably vomit, definitely not thinking about it, and I ducked into an alley to check my gear. Silver stakes. Check. Holy water. Check. The overwhelming urge to prove my dead father wrong about literally everything. Double check. Come on, Asher, I muttered, adjusting the scent blocker patch behind my ear. Military-grade suppressant, black market price tag, and the only thing standing between me and every alpha in a 10-mile radius, figuring out what I really was. An omega, in a family of alphas and betas, a hunter in a profession that thought people like me were too emotional for the job. Yeah, 8 years later, I was still pissed about it. The trail led me out of the quarter, past the boutique hotels and into the Garden District, where old money went to rot in style. Mansions loomed like wedding cakes left in the rain, all that white paint and wrought iron, dripping with jasmine and Spanish moss, and the thick Louisiana humidity that made my shirt cling to my back. 1847, Britannia Street. The mansion squatted behind a rusted gate, dark windows staring like empty eye sockets. Abandoned, according to property records. Haunted, according to locals. Currently housing something that drained 3 people dry last week, according to my intel. I slipped through the gate. It didn't even creak. Too easy. The front door, however, was locked. Rude, I said, and kicked it in. The inside made my skin crawl. Not because it was creepy, though it was. All peeling wallpaper and furniture covered in dust sheets like forgotten ghosts, but because it was wrong. The architecture was old. Like, really old. Renaissance old. The kind of old that didn't belong in a house built in 1847. Someone had gone to a lot of trouble to preserve this place exactly as it was. Question was, why? I moved through the foyer, stakes ready, following the scent of rot and roses down a hallway that seemed to stretch longer than physics allowed. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. This was it. Proof. Evidence. Something I could throw in Marcus's smug beta face and say, see? I told you I could handle this. The hallway ended at a door. Behind it, I heard a heartbeat. Slow, steady, definitely not human. I kicked this door in two. Look, I had a system. The room beyond stole my breath. 3 coffins arranged in a perfect circle. Ornate things, all silver inlay and gemstones, sitting on a floor carved with symbols that glowed faintly in the darkness. Magic, old magic, the kind that made my teeth ache. And in the center, a seal, pulsing, breathing, alive. I should have left, should have called for backup, should have done literally anything except what I did next. But that heartbeat called to me, promised answers, promised proof. I stepped onto the seal, raised my stake, and drove it down. The stake hit something solid. Not flesh, not wood, stone. The seal beneath my feet cracked like thunder. Oh, shit. Light exploded outward. Blinding, burning, pure white magic that threw me backward into a wall, hard enough to knock the air from my lungs. The stake clattered from my grip. Blood dripped from my palm where I'd gripped it too hard, and I watched horrified as the drops hit the seal. The symbols drank them. And then they screamed. Not sound. Feeling. Recognition slammed into me like a fist to the chest, foreign and vast and ancient, tasting my blood and finding something it knew. Something it had been waiting for. The 3 coffins cracked open simultaneously. Ice-cold air rushed out, carrying the scent of winter and wine cellars, and something darker I couldn't name. Fog spilled across the floor, curling around my boots like living things. I scrambled to my feet, reaching for my backup stake. 3 figures rose from the coffins. Identical. Perfectly, impossibly identical. Silver hair that caught the moonlight streaming through broken windows. Pale skin that probably hadn't seen sun in centuries. Tall Jesus, they were tall, at least 6'3" each, with the kind of lean muscle that came from violence, not gyms. In their eyes. Crimson. All 6 of them. Fixed on me with an intensity that made my stomach flip. They were disoriented. I could see it in the way they moved, slow and uncertain, like babies learning to walk. One of them, the one in the middle coffin, touched his face, like he'd forgotten what skin felt like. My phone buzzed in my pocket. All three of them snarled. The one on the left moved faster than anything I'd ever seen, suddenly in front of me with his hand wrapped around my phone before I could blink. He held it up, eyes narrowed. "What sorcery is this?" His voice was rough from disuse, accent strange European maybe, but old. Really old. It's a phone," I managed. My heart hammered. "Vampires. 3 vampires. I'd just woken up 3 vampires and I was so fired. What year do you think it is?" 1525, said the one in the middle, still touching his face. He looked at his brothers. They had to be brothers, probably triplets with growing horror. "We were sealed in 1525. "It's 2025, I said. Silence, the kind that rang in your ears. 500 years, whispered the one on the right. His voice was cold, empty. "Everyone we knew is dead. I should have run. Should have been halfway to my car by now. But I was an idiot with a hero complex and a pathological need to finish what I started. So instead I said, 'Who sealed you?' Wrong question." All three of them looked at me. Really looked, and I saw the exact moment they noticed. My blocker patch had fallen off during the blast. The one on the left inhaled sharply, stepped closer. His nostrils flared. "Omega," he breathed. "Oh no, impossible," said the middle one. But he was moving closer too, drawn like a magnet. "Our mate died. We felt her die in the ceiling." "I'm not your mate," I said, backing up until I hit the wall. "I'm not anyone's mate. I'm a hunter, and you're under arrest for arson." The one on the right crossed the distance between us in a heartbeat, inhaled at my neck. His eyes dilated until they were nearly black. "This one carries her bloodline," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "I can feel it." The seal recognized him. My scent hit them all at once. I watched 3 ancient vampires' knees nearly buckle. "Mate," said the one on the left again. Hoarse, desperate. "You're our mate." "I'm really not," I said, and then my body betrayed me. Heat, instant and overwhelming, crawling up my spine like fire ants. My suppressants were dead fried by whatever magic had been holding these 3 in stasis. And now I was standing in a room with 3 alpha vampires who apparently thought I was their destined soulmate, or whatever the hell mate meant in their ancient murder language. My knees went weak. The one in the middle caught me before I hit the floor. His hands were cold, gentle, completely at odds with the predatory way he was looking at me. "Easy," he murmured. "We won't hurt you." "You're vampires," I said through gritted teeth. The heat was building, pooling low in my belly, and I wanted to die. "Hurting people is kind of your whole thing. We're not typical vampires." The one on the left crouched in front of me, studying my face like it held answers to questions I didn't understand. "We're hybrids, vampire and alpha. Cool origin story. Still gonna stake you when I can feel my legs again." He smiled. Actually smiled, like I'd said something charming instead of threatening murder. "I like this one," he said to his brothers. "He has fire. He has a death wish," said the cold one on the right. But he was watching me too, gaze calculating. "Why were you here? Who sent you?" "Nobody sent me. I'm a hunter. You were terrorizing the quarter. I tracked you here." I forced myself to stand, shaking off the middle one's hands even though it made the heat worse. "And you're coming with me." All 3 of them stared at me. Then the one on the left laughed. Full-bodied, head thrown back, laughter that echoed off the walls. "Oh, I really like him," he said. "Brother, he thinks he's going to arrest us." "My name's not Brother," I snapped. "What are your actual names? Or do I just call you Murder 1, 2, and 3? The middle one's lips twitched. "I'm Caspian Delacroix. This is Dorian," he gestured to the laughing one, "and Lucien." The cold one. "Great. I'm Asher Lowell, and you're all under arrest for—" I didn't finish the sentence, because Lucien moved, faster than I could track. Suddenly he was behind me, one hand pressed to the wall beside my head, the other gripping my chin and tilting it up. His eyes weren't cold anymore. They were burning. "You smell like petrichor and vanilla," he said softly, "like the rain we haven't seen in 5 centuries. That's—" My voice came out breathy. "Damn it. That's called shampoo, you melodramatic fossil." Dorian appeared on my other side. When had he moved? And underneath the artificial sense, he leaned in, breath ghosting over my neck. Something wild, something ours. I'm not a thing to be owned, I said, but it came out shaky. The heat was getting worse, making my skin tight, making me want. No, absolutely not. Caspian stepped closer. All three of them surrounding me now, boxing me in, and my hindbrain, the stupid omega part I'd spent 8 years suppressing, purred. You freed us, Caspian said. His voice was different from his brother's. Measured, strategic. Intentionally or not, you broke the seal. That makes you either our savior or our enemy. Or, Dorian added, grinning, our mate. Not your mate. Each word took effort. The room was spinning. When had it gotten so hot? Just because your biology says we're compatible doesn't mean I'm signing up for whatever weird vampire throuple situation you've got going on. Throuple? Lucian's eyebrows rose. Is that a modern term? It means get your hands off me before I stake you somewhere unfortunate. He didn't move. None of them did. Caspian studied me with those unnerving crimson eyes. You're in heat, and you're fighting it. How long have you been suppressing? 8 years. The admission slipped out before I could stop it. 8 years of blockers and isolation and proving I'm more than. My vision blurred. Dorian caught me this time. More than what? More than this, I whispered. And then everything went black. I woke up to cold hands on my wrists. Silver chains. Not burning, why weren't they burning? But definitely locked. I was sitting in a chair in what looked like a bedroom. 4-poster bed. Heavy curtains. Furniture that belonged in a museum. The 3 vampires stood around me like judges at an execution. Okay, I said, testing the chains. Solid. Damn. So we're doing the whole kidnapping thing. Cool. Very original. I especially love the creepy Victorian bondage aesthetic you've got going. We're not going to hurt you, Caspian said. Again, like saying it multiple times would make me believe it. You've chained me to a chair. You tried to stake Dorian. I will stake Dorian if you don't let me go. Dorian grinned. See? Fire. Lucien wasn't smiling. He was staring at me like I was a puzzle he couldn't solve. The silver should burn you. Why doesn't it burn you? Good question. I didn't have a good answer. Maybe I'm just special, I said instead. Now unlock these chains before I scream loud enough to wake your neighbors. Oh, wait. You don't have neighbors. Because you live in a creepy, abandoned mansion like serial killers. We don't live here, Caspian said. We were imprisoned here. For 500 years. That actually explained a lot. Who imprisoned you? We don't know. His jaw tightened. But we'll find them. Great plan. Love that for you. Can I go now? No. Of course not. I tugged at the chains again. The movement made my shirt right up, exposing my stomach. All 3 of them zeroed in on the exposed skin like starving men seeing food. The heat chose that moment to surge back. I bit my lip hard enough to taste blood, trying to fight it down. Dorian's pupils blew wide. You're in pain. I'm fine. You're not fine, Lucien said quietly. You're in heat. You're separated from your suppressants. And you're surrounded by alphas your body recognizes as compatible. That's not fine. That's torture. Then let me go. Caspian crouched in front of me. Met my eyes. I'll make you a deal. I'm listening. Help us navigate this new world. Help us find who sealed us away. In return, we'll let you leave. Stay close enough that the bond doesn't hurt either of us, but far enough to maintain your independence. I should have said no. Should have told them to go to hell. But I needed answers too. Needed to know who or what had the power to seal 3 vampire alpha hybrids for 5 centuries. And God help me, part of me didn't want to leave. The part I'd spent 8 years hating. Fine, I said, but I'm not your mate. I'm not anyone's mate. This is a professional arrangement. Got it? Caspian smiled. Slow and dangerous and way too knowing. Got it. I made it to the door before my heat broke enough to think clearly. Behind me, 3 alphas I didn't choose watched me leave. And part of me, the part I'd spent 8 years suppressing, wanted to stay. I shoved that part down deep and kept walking. The garden district at dawn was different from the garden district at midnight. Softer. The jasmine smelled sweeter without the undertone of danger. Birds were starting to sing. Normal people would be waking up soon, making coffee, living their regular lives. I just made a deal with 3 vampire princes who thought I was their destined soulmate. Regular had left the building. My car was still parked 2 blocks away where I'd left it. I stumbled toward it, every step making the heat worse. My suppressants were at home. Had to get home. Had to. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Stay safe. Call if you need anything. See. Great. Caspian had already figured out how to text. 500 years asleep, and the man adapted to technology faster than my father ever had. See. Also, your phone is remarkable. I've been reading about the last 500 years. Did humans really split the atom? Despite everything, I almost smiled. Almost. Me. Yeah. Then used it to make bombs. We're great like that. See, horrifying. Me. Welcome to 2025. I made it to my car, slid into the driver's seat. My hands shook as I started the engine. The bond pulled. Even now, even with distance growing between us, I felt it. Like a rubber band stretching. Not painful yet, but present. Constant. I drove home on autopilot, my brain too scrambled to process anything beyond. Apartment, suppressants, shower, sleep, pretend this never happened. My apartment building looked the same as always. Crumbling brick, rusted fire escape, the perpetual smell of weed from 3B. Home sweet home. I climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor, dug my keys out of my pocket. The door was already open, just a crack, but enough. Every instinct I'd honed over 8 years of hunting screamed danger. I pulled a stake from my jacket, pushed the door open slowly. My apartment had been destroyed, furniture overturned, couch cushions slashed open, stuffing everywhere. My laptop smashed on the floor, screen shattered, clothes ripped from my closet and shredded, books torn apart, pages scattered like snow. Someone had taken their time, made sure I'd know this wasn't random. I moved through the wreckage carefully. Living room, destroyed. Kitchen, cabinets emptied, food thrown everywhere. Bathroom, medicine cabinet ransacked, my suppressants gone. Bedroom, there was a note on my bed. Heavy paper, expensive, the kind people used for wedding invitations or death threats. I picked it up with shaking hands. Return what you stole, little Omega, or your brother pays. You have 48 hours. The Covenant. The Covenant. The name Caspian had recognized. The organization that had sealed the triplets 500 years ago. They knew. They knew I'd found the princes. They knew what I was. And they had Marcus. My stomach dropped. Marcus, who'd barely spoken to me in 8 years. Marcus, who'd agreed with father that I was too weak to be a hunter. Marcus, who looked at me like I was a stain on the family name. But he was still my brother. I pulled out my phone, tried calling him. Straight to voicemail. Marcus, it's Asher. Call me back, it's urgent. I tried again. Same result. My hands clenched around the phone. Think. I needed to think. But my heat was building again, making everything harder. My skin felt too tight. The room was too hot. And underneath it all, that pull toward the mansion. Toward them? I looked around my destroyed apartment. At the note. At the blinking red light on my smoke detector that shouldn't be there. Camera. Someone had been watching me. They knew exactly when I'd left, exactly when I'd be coming back. Panic clawed up my throat. I was alone, vulnerable, my safe space violated, my suppressants gone, my brother missing. And the only people who could help were 3 ancient vampires who wanted to claim me. I pulled out my phone, stared at Caspian's number. Pride warred with survival instinct. Survival won. I called. He answered on the first ring. Are you hurt? Not hello. Not what's wrong, just immediate concern, like he'd been waiting for this exact call. Through the bond, I realized, he'd felt my panic. My apartment, I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. Someone ransacked it, left a note. They want me to return what I stole. They have my brother. We're coming, Caspian said. Don't move, don't touch anything. We'll be there in 15 minutes. How do you know where? The bond, he said simply. I can feel you. We all can. He hung up. I stood in the middle of my destroyed home, holding my phone, trying not to shake apart. 15 minutes. I could last 15 minutes. I should call someone else, a hunter, my mentor. Shaw. Captain Raymond Shaw had trained me, had been the only one who'd given me a chance after father kicked me out, said I had potential. said being Omega didn't make me weak. I scrolled to his number. Hit call. It rang 4 times before going to voicemail. You've reached Captain Shaw. I'm out of town on a case. Leave a message. Beep. Shaw. It's Asher. I paused. Something felt wrong. Call me back. It's important. I hung up before saying more. Instinct. The same instinct that had kept me alive this long. Shaw's voicemail had been different. Usually it was casual, friendly. This one was clipped, professional, and he'd asked a question before the beep. Barely audible. Easy to miss if you weren't listening. If this is urgent, Asher, what did you find last night? Where are you now? Those words hadn't been on his voicemail yesterday. My blood went cold. Shaw knew. Somehow Shaw knew I'd been hunting last night, knew I'd found something, but I hadn't told anyone where I was going. Unless. I looked at the camera. The blinking red light. How long had it been there? My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Unknown. We're outside. Dorian wants to know if you have coffee. Says he missed coffee. See. Despite everything, I almost laughed. Almost. I grabbed my leather jacket, one of the few things not destroyed, and headed for the door. In the hallway, I paused. Looked back at my apartment. At 8 years of carefully built independence, shredded in one night. The Covenant knew what I was, knew where I lived, had my brother, and they wanted me to return what I'd stolen. 3 vampire princes who'd been sealed away for 5 centuries. I was so screwed. They were waiting by a car that definitely hadn't been parked on my street last night. A black SUV. Expensive. Probably stolen. All 3 of them looked wildly out of place in the French Quarter morning light, still wearing their Renaissance Festival rejects. Though someone had thrown a modern jacket over Caspian's shoulders, it didn't help. Dorian waved. Actually waved, like we were friends meeting for brunch. Your building is charming, he called out. Very authentic. It's a dump, I said, jogging down the steps. How did you get a car? Stole it? Lucien said flatly. He was leaning against the passenger door, arms crossed. Caspian watched something called YouTube for 10 minutes and declared himself an expert in driving. It's surprisingly intuitive, Caspian said defensively. The principles are similar to carriages, just faster. And with more buttons. You stole a car. We'll return it, Dorian said. He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, bright blue with pink flamingos. Where the hell had he found a Hawaiian shirt? Probably. Maybe. It depends on how attached we get. This is insane, I muttered. This is survival, Caspian corrected. He'd opened the driver's door, standing beside it like he was waiting for me. Show us your apartment. We need to see what we're dealing with. They followed me upstairs. 3 ancient vampires climbing a rusted fire escape in stolen clothes, about to investigate a crime scene in an apartment that smelled like old takeout and broken dreams. My life had officially jumped the shark. I opened my apartment door. Let them see. All 3 went still. That predator stillness that made my hindbrain scream danger. Caspian moved first. He walked through the destruction slowly, careful not to disturb anything. His eyes tracked every detail. The slashed couch, the shattered laptop, the shredded clothes. He picked up a torn photo. Me and Marcus, years ago, before everything went wrong. Your brother, he said. Yeah. Dorian found the note on my bed. Read it. His expression darkened. The Bloodright Covenant, he said quietly. They're still active. You know them? I asked. They're the ones who sealed us, Lucien said. He'd found the camera in the smoke detector, pulled it out with careful fingers. They've been watching you. The room spun. For how long? Long enough to know exactly when you'd be vulnerable, Caspian said. His voice had gone cold. Dangerous. They knew you'd go to the mansion. They've been planning this. But why? What do they want? The triplets exchanged looks. That silent communication thing again. Us, Caspian said finally. They want us. And they're using you to get to us. We need to warn Marcus, I said. I need to find him. Make sure he's okay. It's a trap, Lucien said flatly. Obviously. I don't care, he's my brother. The brother who agreed you were too weak to be a hunter? Dorian asked gently. The one who hasn't spoken to you in years? Still my brother. I grabbed my keys from the floor. I'm going. You 3 can stay here if you want. We're coming, Caspian said. But we're driving? You're in no condition to be behind a wheel. I'm fine. You're in preheat. You haven't slept, and you just discovered your home was violated, he said. You're not fine. Let us help. I wanted to argue. Wanted to throw their words back in their faces and prove I could handle this alone. But my hands were shaking. My heat was building again, and I was so tired. Fine, I said. But I'm calling the shots. This is my brother. My mess. Our mess now, Dorian said. Like it or not. We piled into the stolen SUV. Caspian behind the wheel, Lucien in passenger seat, Dorian and I in the back. I gave directions to Marcus's compound, 50 miles north near Madisonville, Hunter territory. As we drove, Dorian discovered my phone's music app. What is this? He'd somehow connected it to the car's Bluetooth. This Spotify thing? Music streaming. You pick a song, it plays. Any song? Pretty much. His face lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. He scrolled through playlists, hitting random songs. We got 3 seconds of Taylor Swift, 5 seconds of Metallica, and an entire verse of WAP before I lunged for the phone. Maybe let's not start with that one, I said. But she's so enthusiastic, Dorian protested. Lucien made a sound that might have been a laugh. Might have also been a dying cat. Hard to tell with him. Tell us about your brother, Caspian said, eyes on the road. He was actually pretty good at driving, despite learning from YouTube. What should we expect? Marcus is complicated, I said. He's a beta. Good hunter. Father's favorite. We used to be close, before I presented. And after? Dorian asked. After, he looked at me like I'd betrayed him personally. Like being Omega was something I'd chosen to hurt him. That's not how it works, Lucien said. Try telling him that. We drove in silence for a while. The city gave way to suburbs, then rural Louisiana, swamps and cypress trees, and the kind of isolated roads where bad things happen. Do werewolves still exist? Caspian asked suddenly. The question was so random I blinked. What? Werewolves? Witches? Other supernatural beings? Are they still around? Yeah. We mostly avoid each other. Hunters keep the peace when territories overlap. Fascinating, he murmured. In our time, there were constant wars. Vampires versus werewolves, witches versus everyone. It was brutal. It's still brutal, I said. Just quieter. Lucien turned in his seat, looked at me with those unnerving crimson eyes. Your family rejected you, he said, quiet, almost gentle. Yeah, ours tried to kill us. I met his gaze. What happened? We refused arranged bonds, Caspian said. Our father wanted to use us as political tools, marry us off to strengthen alliances. We said no. We discovered we could bond with Omegas, Dorian added, which vampires weren't supposed to be able to do. We bonded with someone. Her name was Amelie. The car got very quiet. What happened to her? I asked, though I already knew the answer wouldn't be good. The sealing spell required a life, Lucien said. His voice had gone flat. Dead. They used hers. Killed her to power the magic that imprisoned us. That's why we didn't fight, Caspian said. We felt her die, felt the bond sever, and we just gave up. God. 500 years of grief locked away in stasis. I'm sorry, I said. So are we, Dorian said softly. The compound appeared through the trees like something from a paranoid survivalist's wet dream. Electric fence, guard towers, actual guards with actual guns. The whole place screamed trespassing will result in death. Your brother lives here? Dorian asked. He runs a hunter operation. Trains newbies. Takes contracts. It's very, Caspian paused, searching for words. Fortified. Paranoid is the word you're looking for. We pulled up to the gate. A guard young, maybe 20, with a kind of buzz cut that screamed military wannabe stepped out of the booth. State your business. I'm here to see Marcus Lowell, I said. I'm his brother. The guard looked me up and down. His nose wrinkled slightly. He could smell what I was, even through the fading suppressants. Wait here. He disappeared into the booth. Made a phone call. 5 minutes later, the gate opened. Marcus was waiting outside the main building. Tall, broad-shouldered, with our father's sharp cheekbones and disappointed expression. He wore tactical gear like he was about to storm a compound instead of greet his brother. He didn't smile when he saw me. Asher. Flat. Cold. What do you want? Not are you okay? Not I got your message. just immediate hostility. I got a threat, I said, climbing out of the SUV. About you. Someone saying they'd hurt you if I didn't return something I stole. I wanted to make sure you were safe. I can handle myself. Yeah, I can see that. I gestured at the compound. When did you turn into a doomsday prepper? When did you start traveling with vampires? His eyes had locked onto the triplets. They'd emerged from the SUV, standing behind me like the world's most attractive security detail. And Marcus's whole demeanor changed. The color drained from his face. His hand moved toward the gun at his hip. Where did you find them? His voice shook. What exactly did you find last night? I was hunting a vampire. Found these three sealed in a mansion. Accidentally freed them. Accidentally? Marcus's laugh was sharp, bitter. You accidentally freed the Delacroix princes. Do you have any idea what you've done? You know who they are? Everyone in the Covenant knows who they are. The world tilted. What did you just say? Marcus's hand was on his gun now. Fully. His eyes wild. You were supposed to die when you woke them, he said. You were supposed to be too weak. My stomach dropped. Marcus, what are you talking about? I'm not even a real beta. The words exploded out of him. I'm weak. I've been using enhancers for 14 years. They promised me the Covenant promised if I delivered you, they'd give me true alpha status. And you were supposed to be easy. The ground disappeared beneath my feet. You're working with them? The Covenant made me watch you for 10 years, he spat. Do you know what that's like? Watching you succeed while I fake everything? Watching Golden Boy Asher, the natural Omega, better at hunting than I'll ever be? You don't even appreciate what you have. I'm not your brother, I whispered. No, Marcus said. You're not. You never were. He raised his gun. And all hell broke loose. Caspian moved faster than my eyes could track. 1 second, he was standing behind me. The next, he was in front of me, hand wrapped around the barrel of Marcus's gun, twisting it away with a sickening crack of breaking fingers. Marcus screamed. Guards poured out of the compound. 20, maybe more. All armed, all pointing weapons at us. Stay behind us, Caspian said. His voice had gone cold. Lethal. Dorian was already moving, a blur of motion that took down 3 guards before they could fire. He moved like violence set to music, every strike precise and brutal. Lucien hadn't moved yet. He stood perfectly still, eyes scanning the compound with predator focus. 15 on the left, he said. 8 on the right, 3 in the towers. I see them, Caspian replied. They were coordinating. 500 years of fighting together, and they didn't even need to discuss strategy. A guard fired. The bullet meant for me never landed. Lucien caught it. Actually, caught it mid-air, fingers closing around hot metal like it was nothing. He looked at Marcus, smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. That was rude, Lucien said. Then he moved. I'd seen vampires fight before, seen them use their speed and strength, but the triplets were something else entirely. They didn't just fight, they dominated. Caspian took out the leaders first, the guards shouting orders, trying to organize a defense. Without them, the rest fell into chaos. Dorian was vicious. Every movement calculated to terrify as much as disable. He wanted them to run, wanted them to spread the word that fighting us was suicide. And Lucien, God. Lucien was precise. Every strike placed exactly where it needed to be. No wasted motion, no unnecessary violence, just cold, efficient destruction. I should have been terrified. Instead, I was mesmerized. A guard broke through their defense, rushed at me with a knife. My training kicked in. I sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, twisted. The knife clattered away. I swept his legs, dropped him, and had my stake at his throat before he could recover. Stay down, I said. He stayed down. When I looked up, all 3 triplets were staring at me. What? I said. You fight well, Caspian said. There was approval in his voice, maybe even pride. Told you I was a good hunter. We believe you, Dorian said. Another gunshot. This one closer. Marcus had retrieved his gun, was aiming at me with his broken hand, face twisted with rage and pain. You were supposed to die, he said. You were supposed to be too weak. Guess I'm full of surprises, I said. He fired. Lucien was there. Between us. The bullet caught him in the shoulder. He didn't even flinch. That, Lucien said softly, was a mistake. He moved toward Marcus. Not fast, slow, deliberate, giving Marcus time to understand exactly how badly he'd fucked up. Marcus stumbled backward, tripped over his own feet. "Wait," he said. "Wait, I can explain. The Covenant. They made me. I didn't have a choice." "Everyone has a choice," Lucien said. He grabbed Marcus by the throat, lifted him off the ground with one hand. "No," I said. "Lucien, don't." Lucien paused, looked at me over his shoulder. "He tried to kill you," he said. "Multiple times." "I know. But he's still my brother. Was my brother. Whatever." I moved closer. "Please, let him go." "Why?" Lucien asked, genuinely curious. "Because killing him won't change anything. Won't make the betrayal hurt less. Won't give me my family back." I met his eyes. "And because I'm asking you to." Lucien studied me for a long moment. Then he dropped Marcus. Marcus collapsed, gasping, clutching his throat. "The Covenant wanted you," he choked out. "They've been planning this for years. You were supposed to lead them to the princes. That was your whole purpose." "My purpose?" I repeated. "You're not random, Asher. You were chosen. Bred. Made for this." The world tilted again. "What are you talking about?" "Ask them," Marcus said, gesturing at the triplets. "Ask them about Amelie, about bloodlines, about why you specifically could break the seal." Caspian's expression had gone carefully blank. "We need to leave," he said. "Now. Before reinforcements arrive." "Not until someone tells me what the hell Marcus is talking about." "In the car," Caspian said. His tone left no room for argument. "We need to move. Lucien's injured." I looked at Lucien. At the blood spreading across his shoulder. The bullet he'd taken for me. "Fine," I said. "But you're telling me everything." We ran for the SUV. Behind us, guards were regrouping, shouting into radios, calling for backup. I took one last look at Marcus. At the brother who'd never really been my brother. Who'd spent 10 years watching me, reporting on me, waiting for the right moment to betray me. "I hope it was worth it," I said. He didn't answer. We peeled out of the compound, tires screaming. Gunfire followed us. Bullets pinged off the SUV's frame. Caspian drove like someone who'd learned from YouTube and decided traffic laws were suggestions. We flew down back roads at speeds that should have been illegal. In the back seat, I pressed my jacket against Lucien's wound. He'd wedged himself between me and Dorian, face pale but expression stoic. "You took a bullet for me," I said. "Yes," he said simply. "Why?" "Because you're ours." "I'm not yours. We've been over this." "Your mind might not accept it yet," Dorian said. "But your body knows. Your soul knows." "That's not how it works." "That's exactly how it works," Lucien said. He winced as I pressed harder on the wound. "The bond doesn't lie, doesn't manipulate. It just is." Marcus said I was bred for this, made for this. What did he mean? The car went very quiet. "Tell me," I said. "You promised to help me understand. So help me understand this." Caspian's hands tightened on the steering wheel. The seal that held us. It was designed to break under specific conditions. Amelie's bloodline, maturity, blood contact. You triggered all three. "So I'm related to your dead mate?" "Descended from her family line," he corrected. "The Covenant has been tracking her descendants for centuries, waiting for the right one, the compatible one." "Compatible," I repeated. "With you." "Yes," Dorian said softly. "That's why the bond forms so quickly. Why it's so strong. You're not just any Omega, you're the Omega. The one genetically designed to match us." My stomach turned. "So this whole thing, the bond, the attraction, it's all just biology, programming?" "No," Lucien said firmly. Despite his injury, despite the pain, his voice was steady. "Biology brought us together. But what happens next? That's choice. The bond doesn't make you love us, it just makes it possible." Marcus said I was bred, made. What if he's right? What if I'm not even real? "You're real," Caspian said. "Your choices are real. Your strength is real. Whatever the Covenant did, whoever they think you are, doesn't change who you actually are." "And who's that?" I asked, my voice cracked. "Someone brave enough to face 3 ancient vampires alone," Dorian said. "Someone strong enough to survive 8 years of rejection and keep fighting anyway. Someone kind enough to stop Lucien from killing your brother, Even after that brother betrayed you. Someone, Lucien added. Worth saving. Tears burned my eyes. I blinked them back. The bullet's still in your shoulder, I said, changing the subject, focusing on something I could actually fix. We need to get it out before you heal around it. Later, Lucien said. First we get somewhere safe. Where's safe? I asked. They found my apartment. They know about Marcus's compound. Where can we go that the Covenant doesn't know about? I know a place, Caspian said. Old Vampire Safe House. The network still exists. We used it centuries ago. With any luck, it's still operational. And if it's not, then we improvise, he said. We drove deeper into the bayou, away from the city, away from civilization, into the wild, dark heart of Louisiana, where things lurked in the swamps and nobody asked questions. Perfect place to hide, or perfect place to die. Marcus wasn't my brother. My family was a lie, and the 3 vampires I'd known for 12 hours just bled for me. The thoughts circled in my head like a vulture as Caspian turned off the main road onto something that barely qualified as a path. Tree branches scraped against the SUV's windows. Spanish moss hung so thick it blocked out the sun. My hands were still pressed against Lucien's shoulder. Blood seeped through my jacket, warm and sticky. He hadn't made a sound since we left the compound. Just sat there with that stoic vampire face like getting shot was a minor inconvenience. How much further? I asked. 10 minutes, Caspian said. Maybe 15. The road gets worse. Worse than this? This isn't a road. This is a suggestion. The SUV bounced over something that might have been a log or a small alligator. Hard to tell in the bayou. Dorian had his phone out. Was scrolling through something with intense focus. What are you doing? I asked. Research, he said. Reading about the Covenant. There's surprisingly little information available. Mostly conspiracy theories and deleted forum posts. They're good at staying hidden, I said. Most supernatural organizations are. This article says they were disbanded in 1823, Dorian continued. But Marcus clearly proved that wrong. Or they wanted people to think they were disbanded, Lucien said. His voice was strained. The bullet was hurting more than he'd admit. Classic misdirection. How do you feel? I asked him. Fine. You're a terrible liar. I'm an excellent liar. I'm just choosing not to lie to you. He met my eyes. It hurts. The silver is burning. But I'll heal once we remove it. Silver burns you, I said, remembering. But it didn't burn me. The chains in the mansion. They should have, but they didn't. Because you're not supernatural, Caspian said from the front seat. You're fully human, fully Omega, no vampire contamination in your bloodline. Contamination, I repeated. Nice word choice. Poor word choice, he corrected. I meant you're pure. Your bloodline is exactly what it was 500 years ago. That's rare. Important. Important to who? To the Covenant, apparently. The path opened into a clearing. In the center sat a cabin that looked like it had been standing since before indoor plumbing was invented. Wood so weathered it had gone gray. A porch that sagged like a broken promise. Windows covered with boards. This is the safe house? I asked. It's been here since 1697, Caspian said, parking. Vampire safe houses are built to last. It looks like it's held together by hope and tetanus. Looks can be deceiving, Dorian said. He was already out of the car, moving toward the cabin with predatory grace. I can smell the wards. Someone's maintained the magic. We helped Lucien out of the SUV. He tried to walk on his own, stumbled, and let me take his weight without argument. That more than anything told me how badly he was hurt. The cabin's interior was surprisingly clean. Dust covered everything, but the structure was solid. One main room with a fireplace, a small kitchen area, 2 doors leading to what I assumed were bedrooms. Furniture draped in white sheets like ghosts. I helped Lucien to a chair. He sat with a barely suppressed groan. First aid kit? I asked. Check the kitchen, Caspian said. He was examining the fireplace. Most safe houses keep supplies. If we're lucky, there'll be something useful. I found the kit in a cabinet above the sink. Military grade, well stocked. Someone had definitely maintained this place. I returned to Lucien, kit in hand. This is going to hurt. Everything hurts already, he said. Do it. I cut away his shirt. The bullet wound was angry and red, skin blistered around the entry point. Silver poisoning. I need to dig the bullet out, I said. I don't have anesthetic. I've survived worse, Lucien said. When? During our imprisonment, they tortured me, tried to break me to control my brothers. His voice was flat, emotionless. This is nothing. My hands stilled. Who tortured you? Whoever sealed us. We never saw faces. Just pain. For what felt like years but was probably days before the stasis took hold fully. I'm sorry, I said. Don't be. It taught me something important. He caught my hand. His fingers were cold. Connection doesn't make you weak. Isolation does. I wanted to argue. Wanted to say that staying alone had kept me safe for 8 years. But looking at him, at the bullet wound he'd taken for me, at his brothers moving around the cabin to make it livable again, I couldn't. Hold still, I said. I dug the bullet out as quickly as I could. Lucien's jaw clenched so hard I heard his teeth grind, but he didn't make a sound. The silver had burned deep, leaving angry red streaks spreading from the wound. The bullet came out with a wet sound that made my stomach turn. I dropped it on the table. It hissed against the wood, still hot from his body. Done, I said. Now I need to clean it before you heal. I poured antiseptic over the wound. Lucien's back arched. His hands shot out and grabbed my wrist hard enough to bruise. Then he forced himself to relax. Let go. Sorry, he said. Don't apologize for being in pain. I bandaged the wound quickly. Already I could see it starting to close. Vampire healing was incredible. Give him an hour and there'd be nothing but a scar. Thank you, Lucien said. You took a bullet for me. It's the least I could do. I'd do it again. Please don't. Dorian had found canned food in the kitchen, was opening beans with a manual can opener like it was a puzzle he was determined to solve. How do people eat food from metal prisons? He asked. This seems inefficient. It's called preservation, I said. Canning keeps food edible for years. Fascinating. He finally got the can open, looked at the beans, sniffed them. Do humans actually enjoy this? When you're hungry enough? Yeah. Caspian had gotten a fire going in the fireplace. The cabin was warming up, becoming almost comfortable despite its decrepit appearance. I sat on the floor near the fire. My heat had calmed during the adrenaline of the fight, but now it was building again. Slower this time, but constant. A low throb in my belly that wouldn't go away. You need to eat, Caspian said. He handed me the can of beans and a spoon. When did you last have food? I tried to remember. Yesterday? The day before? I'm fine. You're not fine. You're in heat. You were attacked. You discovered your brother betrayed you. You're running on empty. He crouched in front of me. Eat, please. I took the can. Ate mechanically. The beans tasted like sadness and tin, but he was right. I needed food. Everything I believed about my family was a lie, I said. Quiet. Not really talking to anyone. Just saying it out loud because keeping it in was making my chest tight. Father. Marcus. All of it. I know, Caspian said. Do you? Do you really know what it's like to find out the people who were supposed to love you were just actors playing a role? I looked at him. Your father tried to kill you, but at least he was really your father. Mine wasn't even that. I don't know who my real parents are. Don't know if they're alive or dead, or if they even wanted me. They're dead, Dorian said softly. He was holding his phone, had pulled up something on the screen. I found the Covenant's leaked files, from 2015, before they scrubbed most of their online presence. Your biological parents were paid to conceive you, terminated when you were 6 months old, listed as a car accident. The can slipped from my hands. Beans spilled across the floor. They killed them, I said. The Covenant killed my real parents. Yes, Dorian said. And the people who raised me? The Lowells. They were just Covenant operatives. Marcus too. Yes. So I never had a family. Never had anyone who actually cared if I lived or died. That's not true, Lucien said. He'd moved to sit beside me, shoulder bandaged, face still pale, but his eyes were steady. You have us. I've known you 12 hours. 13, Dorian corrected. And time doesn't determine worth. We've bled for you, fought for you. That means something. It means you think I'm your mate. It doesn't mean you actually care about me as a person. Can it mean both? Caspian asked. I didn't have an answer for that. We sat in silence. The fire crackled. Outside, the bayou made its strange noises. crickets and frogs and things I didn't want to name. Our father tried to kill us because we refused the bonds he'd arranged, Caspian said finally. He wanted to use us as political tools, marry us off to strengthen alliances. We were 17, barely adults by vampire standards, and he was ready to treat us like property. We said no, Dorian continued, and he called us ungrateful, said we were throwing away our birthright, our duty. We discovered we could bond with Omegas, Lucien said, which vampires weren't supposed to be able to do. We thought it was a miracle, a gift, proof that we could choose our own path. Then we met Amélie, Caspian said. His voice softened. She was fierce, brilliant, refused to bow to anyone. We loved her within days. The bond formed naturally, Dorian said. Perfectly, like it was meant to be. Our father found out, Lucien said, saw it as the ultimate betrayal. Not only were we refusing his arrangements, we were bonding with someone he considered beneath us. He hired someone to seal us away, Caspian finished, used Amélie's life force to power the spell, made us feel her die through the bond. That was his punishment. Not death. Worse, living with that loss forever. I'm sorry, I said. Inadequate. But what else could I say? We're telling you this because we understand, Caspian said. Family can be the people who hurt you most. Blood doesn't guarantee love, doesn't guarantee loyalty. But choice does, Dorian said. And we're choosing you. Not because the bond tells us to, but because in 13 hours, you've been braver and stronger and more real than most people we knew in centuries of life. You don't know me, I said. Then let us, Lucien said. Let us know you, the real you. Not the hunter pretending to be something he's not the Omega hiding his designation. Just Asher. I don't know who that is anymore. Then we'll figure it out together. My phone buzzed. I'd almost forgotten I had it. Unknown number. But the message made my blood run cold. We have what you stole, and we know where you are. Return our property in 48 hours or innocent people die. Coordinates attached. A video file loaded below the text. I opened it with shaking hands. 10 Omegas in cages. Young, terrified. One of them couldn't have been older than 19. They were crying, begging, a voice off camera. Cold. Clinical. Asher Lowell. You have 48 hours to surrender yourself and the Delacroix princes to these coordinates, or we execute one captive every 6 hours. Your choice. Little Hunter. The video ended with the youngest Omega sobbing. Please, I just want to go home. I looked at the triplets. At Caspian's carefully controlled expression, at Dorian's rage, at Lucien's cold calculation. They have hostages, I said. Because of me. Because I freed you. This isn't your fault, Caspian said. Isn't it? They're using me as bait, using innocent people to force my hand. It's a trap, Lucien said flatly. I don't care. I stood. Heat and exhaustion made me sway, but I locked my knees, stayed upright. I'm not letting people die because I made a mistake. It's not a mistake, Dorian said. Freeing us wasn't a mistake. Tell that to those Omegas in cages. We will, Caspian said. He stood too, moved between me and the door like he knew I was about to bolt. But not by walking into a trap. We need a plan, strategy, information. We have 48 hours. Then we use them wisely, he said. We research the Covenant, find their weaknesses, gather allies if we can. Allies? I laughed, bitter. I don't have allies. Everyone I trusted either betrayed me or was never real to begin with. You have us, all three said together. That should have felt cheesy, should have made me roll my eyes. Instead, it made something in my chest crack open. I can't ask you to fight my battles, I said. You're not asking, Lucien said. We're choosing. Why? Why would you risk yourselves for people you don't know? Because you care about them, Dorian said simply. And we care about you. You don't know me. We know enough, Caspian said. We know you tried to stop Lucien from killing Marcus even after Marcus betrayed you. We know you removed a bullet from Lucien's shoulder with hands that shook from your heat but stayed steady enough to save him. We know you're willing to walk into a trap to save strangers. That's not special. That's just being a decent person. It's special to us, he said. I wanted to argue, wanted to push them away, wanted to maintain the walls I'd spent 8 years building. But those walls were already crumbling. Had been since the moment I'd woken 3 ancient vampires, and they'd looked at me like I was something precious instead of something broken. 48 hours, I said. We have 48 hours to figure out how to save those people without getting ourselves killed. Then we better get started, Caspian said. He pulled out his phone, started typing rapidly. What are you doing? I asked. Research. The Covenant officially doesn't exist, but organizations this old always leave traces. We just need to know where to look. Dorian joined him. Between the two of them and their combined 500 years of being nosy vampires, they'd probably find something. Lucian stood, swayed slightly. I caught his arm. You should rest, I said. You're still healing. So are you, he said. Quiet. Your heat. It's getting worse. He was right. The warmth in my belly had spread. My skin felt too tight. Every time one of them moved close, my body responded. I'll be fine. We have suppressants, he said, in the SUV. Emergency supply we stole from a pharmacy. You robbed a pharmacy? We needed blood bags and medication. The pharmacy was closed. We left money. That's still robbery. Would you prefer we didn't have suppressants for you? I sighed. No, I'll take them. Thank you. He retrieved the pills. I swallowed 2 dry. They tasted like chemicals and shame. This doesn't solve the problem, I said. Just delays it. Delays it long enough for you to think clearly, Lucian said. That's all we can ask for. We worked through the afternoon. Caspian and Dorian dug through everything they could find about the Covenant online. I tried calling Daniela, my old mentor, the only hunter besides Shaw who'd ever given me a chance. She answered on the 3rd ring. Asher? Her voice was warm, concerned. Honey, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you. My apartment got ransacked. I'm laying low. Jesus. Are you okay? Define okay. I filled her in on the basics, careful not to mention the triplets. Daniela, have you noticed Omegas going missing? Young ones. Unattached. Silence. Then, Asher, where have you been? Of course I have. But every time I investigate, the trail goes cold. It's like someone's covering it up. The Covenant, I said. It's the Covenant. That's impossible. They were disbanded centuries ago. Apparently not. I need everything you have on them. Files, theories, whatever you've got. This is dangerous, kid. I know. But people are dying. I can't just sit back. She sighed. I'll send you what I have. But Asher, be careful. These people, if they're really Covenant, they're not the kind you walk away from. I'll try. She sent the files. 30+ missing Omegas over the last 10 years. All Louisiana. All young. All poor enough that nobody looked too hard when they vanished. I stared at the names. The faces. Kids barely older than I'd been when I presented. They were targeting people like me, I said. People with no family, no pack, no one to miss them. You're not like them, Caspian said. He'd stopped researching to watch me. You had the right bloodline, the right genetics. They didn't. So they died, and I lived, because of an accident of birth. Because the Covenant is evil, Dorian corrected. This isn't your fault, Asher. None of this is your fault, but it felt like it was. 10 innocent lives, 48 hours. And me, the bait they really wanted. The cabin had grown dark. Night came fast in the bayou. Caspian lit more candles. The firelight cast dancing shadows on the walls. We should rest, he said. We have a long fight ahead of us. We'll need our strength. I can't rest, I said. Every time I close my eyes, I see those Omegas in cages. Then don't close your eyes, Lucian said. He sat beside me on the floor, close enough that I could feel his body heat. Just breathe. Just exist for a moment. I don't know how to do that. Learn, he said. We'll teach you. And somehow, sitting on a dusty floor in a bayou cabin with 3 vampires who'd been asleep for 5 centuries, I almost believed him. Almost. My stomach growled. Loud enough that all 3 of them heard it. When did you last eat? Dorian asked. Again. Like he was keeping track of my basic survival needs better than I was. I had beans, like an hour ago. Half a can of beans, Caspian corrected. That you spilled most of. That's not eating. I'm fine. You keep saying that, Lucian said. It keeps being a lie. I'm not hungry. My stomach growled again. Traitor. Dorian stood. moved to the kitchen with that predatory grace that made him look like he was dancing instead of walking. He opened cabinets, found more canned food. Soup this time. How do I heat this? He called. Stove, I said. If it works. It's gas, Caspian said. He'd already checked. The tank's still half full. Someone's been maintaining this place. Old vampire network, Lucien explained. Safe houses are kept operational. You never know when you'll need to disappear. Useful, I said. Survival, he corrected. Dorian figured out the stove with minimal cursing. Soon the cabin smelled like chicken soup. It should have been comforting. Instead, it made me think of being a kid, of sitting at a table with people who weren't really my family, eating food made by people who were paid to pretend they cared. Here, Dorian said. He handed me a bowl. The soup was hot enough to burn. Eat. All of it. You're bossy. I'm practical. You're running on fumes, your heat is draining you, and you need strength for whatever comes next. He was right. I hated that he was right. I ate. The soup tasted like memories I didn't want. But my body needed fuel more than my brain needed to wallow. Caspian was still on his phone. Had been for hours. His expression kept shifting between fascination and horror as he caught up on 500 years of human history. We fought 2 world wars, he said suddenly. Humans killed millions of each other, over territory, ideology, pride. Yeah, I said. We're not great. And you invented nuclear weapons, bombs that can destroy entire cities. Also, not our finest moment. But you also went to the moon, eradicated diseases, connected the entire world through this internet thing. He looked up from the phone. Humans are terrifying. You're capable of such destruction and such beauty. We're complicated, I said. You're fascinating, Dorian corrected. He'd sat down with his own bowl of soup, was eating it like he was analyzing its molecular structure. 500 years ago, humans were barely organized beyond feudal systems. Now you have democracies, technology, space travel, and we're still killing each other, I said. Still enslaving people. Still creating organizations like the Covenant that experiment on supernatural beings. We haven't evolved as much as you think. Maybe, Lucien said, but you're trying. That counts for something. I finished my soup. My heat had calmed with the suppressants, but I could feel it building again. Slower this time, but inevitable. I should sleep, I said. If we're going to plan an assault on a paramilitary organization in 48 hours, I need rest. Take the bedroom, Caspian said. We don't sleep much. We'll keep watch. You don't sleep at all? We can, Dorian said. But we don't need to. Vampire perk. That's actually useful. It has its moments. I stood. My legs shook. Exhaustion, heat, and emotional trauma were catching up fast. Lucien caught my elbow. Steadied me. Thank you, I said. Stop thanking us, he said. We're not doing this for gratitude. Then why are you doing it? Because you matter, he said simply. I didn't have a response to that. The bedroom was small. One bed, with a mattress that had seen better decades, sheets that smelled like dust and old magic. But it was clean enough, private enough. I closed the door, sat on the bed, stared at my hands. They were shaking. Everything was shaking. I'd spent 8 years building a life, a career, an identity, and in less than 24 hours, it had all crumbled. My family was a lie. My brother was a traitor. My entire existence was apparently manufactured by an evil organization. And I was supposed to just accept that? Supposed to keep going? Like everything was fine? A soft knock on the door. Come in, I said. Lucien entered. Closed the door behind him. He was still pale from blood loss, but the wound had healed completely. Vampire healing was unfair. You shouldn't be alone right now, he said. I'm fine. Stop saying that. You're not fine. You're breaking. And that's okay. It's not okay. People need me to be strong. Those omegas in cages need me to figure out how to save them. They need you alive, Lucien corrected. Which you won't be if you keep pushing yourself past your limits. He sat beside me on the bed, close enough that I could feel his coldness. Vampires ran cold, especially ancient ones. Tell me about the torture, I said. He blinked. What? You said you were tortured during the imprisonment. Tell me about it. Why would you want to know that? Because I need to know I'm not the only person who's been broken by circumstances they couldn't control. Lucien studied me for a long moment. Then he spoke. They used silver, he said, and magic. Burned me from the inside out. Wanted to know how to control vampire alpha hybrids, how to replicate the bond, how to make more of us. Did you tell them? No, I couldn't. The bond with Amelie was already dying. I felt her life draining through our connection, and I knew if I told them anything, they'd use it to hurt more people. So you stayed silent. I stayed silent, and I suffered. And then the stasis took hold, and I felt nothing at all for 500 years. Do you regret it? Staying silent? All of it. Meeting Amelie, bonding with her, fighting your father. No, he said, firm. I regret that she died. I regret that we couldn't protect her. But I don't regret loving her. Love is never a mistake. Even when it destroys you? Especially then, he said, because at least you felt something real. I looked at him. Really looked at him. This cold, distant vampire who'd taken a bullet for me, who'd endured torture rather than betray his brothers, who was sitting with me now because he thought I needed someone. I'm scared, I admitted. Good, he said. Fear means you're smart. Only fools walk into danger without fear. What if I can't save them? Those Omegas. What if I'm not strong enough? Then you'll have help, he said. You're not alone anymore. You have us. For how long? Until the bond fades? Until you realize I'm not actually special? The bond doesn't fade, he said, and you are special. Just not for the reasons you think. What's that supposed to mean? It means the covenant bred you to break a seal, to free us, to be compatible with our biology. He reached out, touched my face gently. But they couldn't breed your choices, couldn't manufacture your courage, couldn't create the part of you that stopped me from killing Marcus, even though he deserved it. He tried to kill me. Exactly. And you still chose mercy. That's not biology, that's character. His hand was cold against my cheek, but somehow it felt grounding. Real? I don't know how to do this, I said. Don't know how to trust people. Don't know how to let anyone close. Then learn, he said. We'll teach you. You said that before. I meant it. He stood, moved toward the door. Wait, I said. Stay, please. He paused, looked back at me with those crimson eyes. You sure? No, but I don't want to be alone. He returned to the bed, sat beside me. Just sat. No expectations, no demands, just presence. I leaned against him. Let his coldness balance my heat. Thank you, I said. Stop thanking me. Make me. He actually smiled. Small, brief, but real. Sleep, he said. I'll keep watch. I should have argued. Should have stayed awake and kept planning. But my body had other ideas. Within minutes, I was asleep. And for the first time in years, I didn't have nightmares. When I woke, the room was different. Warmer. Light was filtering through the boarded windows. Morning. I'd slept through the night. Through the storm of emotions and trauma and heat, Lucien was still beside me. Had stayed the entire time. You didn't leave, I said. You asked me to stay, he said. I thought you'd leave once I was asleep. I keep my promises. I sat up. My heat was building again. The suppressants were wearing off. But it was manageable. For now. The door opened. Dorian stuck his head in. Good morning, he sang. Actually sang. Like he was in a musical. We have breakfast. Well, we have canned peaches and stale crackers, but it's food. What time is it? I asked. Around 9, he said. You slept for 12 hours. 12 hours? We don't have time for that. We need to plan, need to figure out how to save those Omegas. We did plan, Caspian said. He appeared behind Dorian. While you slept. We have ideas. You planned without me? You needed rest, Caspian said. And we needed to research. It worked out. I wanted to be angry, wanted to argue that they should have woken me. But I felt better than I had in days. More clear-headed, more capable. Show me, I said. We gathered in the main room. Caspian had his phone connected to a portable speaker, was displaying information on the small screen. The Covenant officially doesn't exist, he said, but their shell companies do. I found property records, genetic research facility in Baton Rouge. buried under 17 layers of corporate ownership. But it's there. That's where they're keeping the Omegas, I said. Probably, Dorian agreed. It's also where they'd have their research, their data, everything. So we hit the facility, I said. Free the hostages, destroy the research. With 4 people? Lucien asked. Against what's probably a fully armed paramilitary organization. You have a better idea? Yes, Caspian said. We get help. From who? I don't have allies. Everyone I knew either betrayed me or was part of the lie. Not everyone, he said. You said you called Daniela, your old mentor. She sent files. She cares. She's one person, one beta in her 50s. I'm not putting her in danger. Then we find others, Dorian said. The supernatural community is bigger than just hunters. There are werewolf packs, witch covens, other vampires. Other vampires hate you, I pointed out. You said your father tried to kill you, that the vampire community rejected your bond with Amelie. 500 years ago, Caspian said. Things change, and I know someone, a werewolf alpha. We fought together once, centuries ago. I saved her ancestor's life. Blood debt. A werewolf owes you a favor? Werewolves take blood debt seriously, he said. If I call it in, she'll come. And witches? I asked. I might know someone, Dorian said. There's a witch network. If I can find one who's lost family to the Covenant, they'd have reason to help. It was a long shot. All of it was a long shot. But it was something. Okay, I said. Call your contacts. See who responds. But we have 48 hours. Less now. If they don't answer soon, we go alone. Agreed, Caspian said. He made the call. Put it on speaker. It rang 3 times before someone answered. This better be good, a woman's voice said. Rough. Tired. I don't take calls from unknown numbers. Sienna Cross? Caspian asked. Silence. Then, who the hell is this? Caspian Delacroix. I'm calling in a blood debt from 1,523. Your ancestor, Elena Cross. I saved her life during the Battle of Ravenna. She swore her line would honor the debt. More silence. Longer this time. The Delacroix princes are dead, Sienna said. Have been for centuries. We were sealed. We've been freed. And I'm calling in the debt. Prove it, she said. You have a scar on your left shoulder blade, Caspian said, shaped like a crescent moon. All Cross Alphas have it. A birthmark passed through your line for 500 years. How do you know that? Because Elena had the same mark. I saw it when I carried her from the battlefield. Another pause. What do you want? Sienna asked. Help, Caspian said. The Covenant has hostages. We're planning an assault. We need allies. The Covenant was disbanded. Apparently not, she swore. Colorful and creative. This is insane. Yes, Caspian agreed. Will you help? I need to verify this. Check with my pack. Confirm the Covenant is actually active. Give me 24 hours. We don't have 24 hours. Then I'll work fast, she said. If the blood debt is real, I'll honor it. But I'm not risking my pack on a lie. She hung up. Well, Dorian said. That went better than expected. She didn't say no, I pointed out. Werewolves are cautious, Lucien said. Smart. She'll investigate. If she confirms the Covenant is real, she'll come. And the witch? I asked Dorian. Give me a few hours, he said. I'll find someone. He disappeared into one of the bedrooms with his phone, leaving me, Caspian, and Lucien in the main room. This is crazy, I said. We're planning to assault a military facility with a maybe werewolf and a hypothetical witch. Welcome to supernatural warfare, Caspian said. It's always chaos. Comforting. I wasn't trying to comfort you. I was trying to prepare you. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. 40 hours remaining. Have you made your choice? Below it, another video. Same Omegas. But now one of them had fresh bruises. Proof they were willing to hurt their hostages if I didn't comply. I showed the phone to Caspian. His expression hardened. They're escalating. To force our hand, Lucien said. Make us act rashly. Maybe we should, I said. Maybe we should just go. Surrender. Trade ourselves for them. That's exactly what they want, Caspian said. They'd have us. All 4 of us. Bonded. Perfect for extraction. Extraction? I asked. Remember what Marcus said? Lucian asked. About your purpose? They want to study the bond, replicate it, create an army of hybrid soldiers. And to do that, they need us alive, Caspian said. Need to extract whatever makes the bond work. Our blood, your blood, the altered biology that happens post-bonding. My stomach turned. They want to turn us into lab rats. Yes, he said, and probably kill us once they have what they need. So we don't surrender, I said. We fight. We fight, all three agreed. Dorian emerged from the bedroom, grinning, actually grinning like he'd won the lottery. I found a witch, he said. Name's Theo Mendoza, 21 years old. Parents were killed by the Covenant 5 years ago. He's been hunting for evidence ever since. And he believes you? I asked. I sent him the leaked files from 2015. The ones I found earlier. He's verifying them now. Said if they're real, he's in. 2 maybes, I said. Better than nothing. 3 if you count Daniela, Caspian said. I'm not counting Daniela. She's not coming. She's smart enough to stay away. But even as I said it, I hoped I was wrong. My phone rang. Daniela's number. You called her name into existence, Lucian said. I answered. Daniela? Asher, honey. What the hell have you gotten yourself into? Her voice was tight. Scared. I did some digging after our call. The Covenant isn't just active. They're funded, organized, dangerous. I know. You can't fight them alone. I'm not alone. Who's helping you? I looked at the triplets. It's complicated. Complicated how? I freed 3 ancient vampires from a magical seal, and now we're bonded and planning to assault a genetic research facility to rescue hostages and destroy centuries of evil research. Silence. Then, you freed the Delacroix princes. You know about them? Every hunter knows the story. They've been sealed for 500 years. Are they really with you? Yes. And you're bonded? Yes. More silence. I can't help you fight, she said finally. I'm one person. One old beta who's good at research but terrible in combat. But I can send you intel. Everything I've gathered on missing Omegas, Covenant shell companies, facility locations. It's not much, but it's something. That's more than enough, I said. Thank you. Be careful, Asher. These people, they don't play fair. Neither do we. She sent the files. 30+ missing Omegas. All from the last 10 years. All Louisiana. All young and vulnerable. I stared at the faces. At the names. Kids who could have been me in another timeline. They're experimenting on them, I said, using them as test subjects for whatever extraction process they're planning. And most of them didn't survive, Lucien said. He was reading over my shoulder. According to the files, only 8 are still alive. The ones in the video. Then we save those 8, I said. And we stop this from ever happening again, Caspian added. Dorian's phone buzzed. He checked it. His expression shifted to satisfaction. Theo confirmed the files are real, he said. He's in. Said he'll meet us in 2 days with supplies. Magical wards. Tech to hack their systems. 2 days is too long, I said. We have 40 hours. Then he'll work faster, Dorian said. He's angry. Motivated. Losing his parents to these people destroyed him. He wants revenge. Revenge is dangerous, Lucian said. So is leaving hostages in cages, I countered. Caspian's phone rang. He answered, listened. His expression gave nothing away. Understood, he said. We'll be ready. He hung up. Sienna? I asked. Sienna, he confirmed. She verified the Covenant is active. Found evidence of their shell companies. Missing persons reports that match Daniela's files. She's in. She'll bring 2 of her pack. Javier and Keisha. Tactical experts. So we have allies, I said. We have allies, he agreed. 3 days ago, I'd been alone. Isolated. Convinced that staying solo was the only way to survive. Now I was sitting in a bayou cabin with 3 vampire princes, planning an assault on an evil organization, with a werewolf pack and a witch coming to help. My life had gotten weird. We need a plan, I said. A real one. Not just storm the facility and hope for the best. Agreed, Caspian said. We have 40 hours. Let's use them. We spent the next hours planning, mapping, strategizing. Caspian was brilliant at tactics. Lucien knew ancient magic that might counter modern wards. Dorian had absorbed enough information from the internet to be dangerous. And me? I knew how hunters operated, knew their blind spots, their weaknesses. Together, we might actually have a chance. My heat built steadily. The suppressants were wearing off, but I pushed through it, focused on the work. On the hostages who needed saving, Dorian noticed. Of course he did. You need more suppressants, he said. I'm fine. You're burning up. I can see it from here. I said I'm fine. He moved closer, knelt in front of me. I know you hate this. Hate feeling vulnerable. But fighting your biology while planning an assault is going to get you killed. Then I'll die doing something that matters. Or you could take the damn pills and live long enough to actually save those omegas. He was right. Again. I hated that he was right. I took more suppressants. They helped. A little. But the bond kept pulling. Every time one of them moved, my body responded. Wanting. Needing. Things I didn't want to name. This is going to be a problem, I said. Only if you let it be, Caspian said. The bond doesn't control you. It just makes you aware of us. You're still in control of your choices. Am I? Because it doesn't feel like it. Then fight harder, Lucian said. You're strong enough. I wanted to believe him. Outside, the sun was setting again. We'd burned through most of the day planning, arguing, strategizing. 36 hours until the Covenant's deadline. 72 hours until our allies arrived. The math didn't work. But we'd make it work. We had to. Because 10 innocent Omegas were counting on us. And I'd be damned if I let them down. We need more information, Caspian said. He was pacing now, phone in hand, jaw tight with frustration. The facility layout Theo sent is outdated. From 2018, they could have changed everything since then. Then we improvise, I said. Go in blind if we have to. That's suicide, Lucien said flatly. Then what do you suggest? We have 36 hours. Our allies won't be here for 72. The math doesn't work. So we make it work, Dorian said. He'd been unusually quiet, staring at his phone with intense focus. There's another option. One you're not going to like. What option? He looked up, met my eyes. I surrender. Walk in alone. Say I'm willing to trade myself for the hostages. Absolutely not. All three of us said at once. They want all four of us, Dorian continued. But they'd take one Delacroix prince over nothing. I go in, get captured. You three break in while they're distracted with me. They'll kill you, Caspian said. Maybe. But they need me alive for research. For extraction. They won't kill me immediately. The answer is no, I said. We're not sacrificing anyone. Then what's your brilliant plan? Dorian asked. Not mean, just desperate. Because right now I'm looking at 10 innocent people dying while we sit here arguing about tactics. He was right. God, I hated that he was right. My phone buzzed. Another video. I didn't want to open it. Knew it would be worse than the last one. I opened it anyway. The same Omegas. But now 2 of them were bleeding. Fresh wounds, proof of escalation. The voice again. Cold. Clinical. 36 hours, Asher Lowell. Make your choice. The video cut off. I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall. Didn't break. Stupid, durable, modern technology. I can't, I said, my voice cracked. I can't just sit here while they hurt people, while they wait for me to decide who lives and who dies. Caspian caught my shoulders, forced me to look at him. We will save them, he said, but not by throwing ourselves at the Covenant unprepared. That's what they want. They want us desperate, reckless, easy to capture. So we give them desperate, I said. But smart desperate, what does that mean? It means I go in, I said. I walk through the front door, surrender. Tell them I'll cooperate if they release the hostages. No, all 3 said. Yes, I'm the one they really want. Marcus said it himself. I'm the key, the compatible bloodline. They bred me for this, so let's use that. They'll experiment on you, Lucian said. Not if you 3 break me out before they get the chance. This is insane, Caspian said. This is survival, I countered, using his own words against him. You said it yourself. We do what we have to do. Not this, he said. We'll find another way. There is no other way. Not in 36 hours. Dorian was watching me, his expression unreadable. He's right, Dorian said finally. It's the only play we have. Dorian, Caspian warned. I don't like it either. But look at our options. We go in as a group. They pick us off. We wait for allies. People die. Asher goes in alone as bait. We have a chance. A chance to get him killed, Lucien said. A chance to save 10 innocent people, I corrected. And I'm going. You three can help, or you can stay here. But I'm not letting anyone else suffer, because I'm too scared to act. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Then Caspian sighed. If we're doing this, we do it right. Full plan, contingencies, nothing left to chance. Agreed, I said. We planned through the night. Caspian mapped entry points. Lucien identified magical wards from facility blueprints. Dorian hacked into what he could of the Covenant systems. And I tried not to think about walking into a building designed to turn me into a lab experiment. My heat was getting worse. The suppressants barely touched it anymore. Every time one of the triplets moved close, my body responded. Wanting. Aching. Things I couldn't afford to feel right now. You need to complete the bond, Lucien said suddenly. I blinked. What? The bond. It's partially formed. That's why your heat is so intense. Your body is trying to complete what we started. We're not doing this now, I said. We should, Dorian said. If you go into that facility in heat, you'll be vulnerable, distracted. They'll use it against you. I'll manage. Will you? Caspian asked. Because right now you're barely holding it together. And that's here, with us. In a facility full of alphas who won't care about your consent, you'll be helpless. The words stung because they were true. So what are you suggesting? I asked. Complete the bond, Caspian said. Properly. The claiming bites. Full connection. It'll stabilize your heat, make you stronger, make all of us stronger. That's exactly what the Covenant wants, I said. They want us bonded so they can study it, extract whatever makes it work. They want a forced bond, Lucien said. One they control. If we complete it now on our terms, it's ours, not theirs. This is insane. This is survival, all three said together. I looked at them, really looked at them. 3 ancient vampires who'd been sealed for 500 years, who'd lost their first mate to the same organization, hunting us now, who were willing to risk everything to save people they'd never met. Because I cared about those people, and they cared about me. Okay, I said, we do this, but on my terms. My choice. Nobody forces anything. Agreed, Caspian said. We moved to the bedroom, the same one where Lucien had stayed with me the night before. It felt smaller now, more intimate. My heat flared. Knowing what was about to happen made it worse, made every nerve ending hyper-aware. We'll take this slow, Dorian said. He was closer now, close enough that I could feel his warmth. If you want to stop, we stop, no questions, no judgment. I'm scared, I admitted. Good, Lucien said. Fear keeps you honest. Caspian touched my face. Gentle, careful. We've got you. All of us. We won't let anything hurt you. You're what scares me, I said. Not the Covenant, not the facility. You three. Because if I do this, if I complete this bond, there's no going back. I'm yours, forever. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. Then don't think of it as forever, Dorian said. Think of it as right now, this moment, this choice. You can decide what comes next when we get there. That's not how bonds work. Maybe, he said. But it's how we work, one moment at a time. He kissed me, soft, sweet. Nothing like the desperate kiss from before. This was different. This was choice. I kissed him back. Caspian's hands were on my shoulders, steadying me, grounding me. Lucien was behind me, close enough that I could feel his coldness balancing my heat. Last chance to say no, Caspian said. I'm saying yes, I said. I choose this. I choose you. The bond flared, hot, overwhelming, like something inside me was finally clicking into place. Dorian bit first, my neck, where it met my shoulder. The pain was sharp, immediate. Then pleasure flooded through me, carried on the bond like a wave. Caspian was next. Other side, same spot, same pain becoming pleasure. Lucien kissed the back of my neck, gentle, before his fangs sank in. The bond exploded. Not painful, not quite pleasure, something beyond both. Every emotion they felt, I felt. Every thought, every sensation, echoing through a connection that went deeper than blood. Love. Fierce and protective and terrifying in its intensity. I felt them. All of them. Caspian's careful control, Dorian's wild joy, Lucien's quiet devotion. And they felt me. My fear, my determination, my desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, I'd found something real. Your turn, Caspian said. His voice was rough, affected. I bit him first, instinct guiding me. My human teeth weren't made for this, but the bond showed me where, how. His blood was cold, sweet, wrong and right at the same time. Then Dorian. His blood was warmer, still vampire cold, but less so. Finally, Lucien. His blood was ice, but it burned going down. The bond snapped fully into place, complete, permanent, unbreakable. I could feel them, not just emotionally, physically. I knew where each of them was, could sense their heartbeats, their breathing, everything. Holy hell, I breathed. Yeah, Dorian said. It's intense. I can feel you, all of you, and we can feel you, Caspian said. Your fear, your determination, your strength. My heat had calmed, not gone, but manageable, like it had found what it was searching for. We're bonded, I said, stupid, obvious, but I needed to say it out loud. We're bonded, Lucien confirmed, properly, completely. Nobody can break this, not the Covenant, not Shaw, not fate itself. So now what? Now we save those Omegas, Caspian said, together. My phone buzzed. Message from unknown number. Coordinates attached. Come alone, 36 hours, or they all die. Below it, a video. The facility. Armed guards, magical wards glowing faintly. And inside, I could see them. The cages, the Omegas. One of them looked directly at the camera. Mouthed 2 words. Help us. We're coming, I said to the screen, to the terrified Omega who couldn't hear me. I promise. We're coming. I looked at my mates, my bonded, my pack. 36 hours, I said. We go in 36 hours, ready or not. We'll be ready, Caspian said. We have to be, Dorian added. Because failure isn't an option, Lucien finished. The bond pulsed between us, solid, real, unbreakable. Whatever came next, we'd face it together. And the Covenant was about to learn what happened when you threatened a bonded pack. We need Sienna and Theo here faster, I said. My mind was clearer now. The bond had settled something inside me, made everything sharper, more focused. 36 hours isn't enough time to wait for them. Sienna said 3 days, Caspian reminded me. Then we convince her it can't wait. I grabbed my phone, called the number Caspian had used before. She answered on the second ring. This better be important. It is. The Covenant just sent another video. They're hurting the hostages. Escalating. We can't wait 3 days. I need time to verify, to prepare my pack. I don't have time. Those Omegas don't have time. My voice cracked. Please, if the blood debt means anything, I'm begging you. We need help now. Silence stretched. I could hear her breathing, thinking. Send me the videos, she said finally. Everything you have. If it's real, if the Covenant is actually active, I'll move faster. I sent everything. The videos, Daniela's files, the facility coordinates. Give me 12 hours, Sienna said. I'll verify this. If it checks out, I'll be there with Javier and Keisha in 24. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. If this is real, we're walking into a war. She hung up. One down, Dorian said. Now Theo. He was already typing. Sent messages through whatever witch network he'd found. Minutes passed. Then his phone chimed. Theo says he can be here in 18 hours, Dorian said. He's gathering supplies now. Magical wards. Tech to hack their systems. He wants revenge for his parents. He'll move fast. So we have allies coming, I said. In 18 to 24 hours. That gives us 12 hours to plan before they arrive. 12 hours to figure out how 4 of us break into a military facility, Lucien said. Against what's probably 50 armed guards. We've faced worse odds, Caspian said. When? I'm sure we have. Somewhere in 500 years. That's not comforting. I'm not trying to comfort you, Despite everything, I almost smiled. The bond hummed between us. Warm, steady, real. My phone rang. Daniela. I found something, she said without preamble. Blueprints of the facility, not the outdated ones from 2018. Current ones, from this year. How? Better you don't know. But I'm sending them now. There's a weakness. Ventilation system on the east side. Not covered by magical wards. Only physical security. The file came through. Caspian pulled it up on his phone, studied it. She's right, he said. The wards cover the main entrances and the research wing. But the ventilation shaft here, he pointed. No magic, just cameras and locks. Can we use it? I asked. If we're small enough to fit, and quiet enough not to trigger alarms. I can fit, I said. I'm smaller than you three. You're also the one they want most, Lucian said. Sending you in first is suicide. Sending me in first is smart. I'm bait. They'll focus on me. You three come in behind through the main entrance while they're distracted. I hate this plan, Caspian said. You have a better one? Silence. That's what I thought. We spent the next hours refining. Caspian mapped entry and exit routes. Lucien identified which guards would be where based on standard security protocols. Dorian hacked what he could of their systems, found shift schedules, guard rotations, weak points. They change shifts at 2 a.m., Dorian said. That's when we go. Skeleton crew. Minimal guards. Best chance. 2 a.m. tomorrow, I said. We go in tomorrow. Our allies won't be here yet, Caspian said. I know, but we can't wait. Every hour we delay, those Omegas suffer. We go in. Free them. Our allies can join us if they arrive in time. This is insane, Lucien said, for the third time that night. This is survival, I said, for the third time. We do what we have to do. The bond pulsed. Agreement. Even though they hated it, they understood. We were going to war. With or without backup. My heat had finally calmed. The bond had satisfied whatever biological imperative was driving it. I could think clearly. Move without my body betraying me at every turn. Get some rest, Caspian said. All of us. We need to be sharp tomorrow. You don't sleep, I pointed out. We can. We will. For you. The bedroom was small. The bed smaller. But we made it work. All four of us. Tangled together. The bond. Making it feel natural instead of awkward. Dorian was warm against my side. Caspian cool against my back. Lucien's hand in mine. Whatever happens tomorrow, I said into the darkness. Thank you. For choosing this. For choosing me. We'd choose you 1,000 times, Dorian said. In every lifetime, Caspian added. Without hesitation, Lucien finished. I believed them. The bond didn't lie. Sleep came easier than it should have. Surrounded by 3 vampires who'd taken bullets for me, who'd fight an entire organization to save people they'd never met, because I cared about those people, and they cared about me. When I woke, morning light was filtering through the boards. The cabin smelled like coffee. Dorian had figured out the ancient percolator, was making something that vaguely resembled breakfast. Eat, he said, handing me canned fruit and stale crackers. Big day ahead. Thanks, Mom. I prefer Daddy, actually. I choked on my coffee. What? Too soon? He grinned. Worth it for your face. Caspian and Lucien were going over the plan again, making sure we hadn't missed anything. Theo arrives in 6 hours, Caspian said. Sienna and her pack in 12. If we're lucky, they'll catch up to us during the assault. And if we're not lucky? I asked. Then we improvise. Your plans are terrifying. They've kept us alive for 500 years. Fair point. My phone buzzed. Final message from the Covenant. 12 hours. Make your choice. Below it, the address. The coordinates. An invitation to my own capture. I looked at my mates. At the 3 vampires who'd become my everything in less than 3 days. Time to end this, I said. Together, they said. The bond flared. Hot, solid, unbreakable. We had 12 hours. Allies coming in 6 and 12. A plan that was half improvisation and half desperation. But we had something the Covenant didn't expect. We had choice, we had love, we had a bond forged in blood and sealed in fire. And we were going to burn their facility to the ground. The Baton Rouge facility looked like every other industrial building on the outskirts of town. Plain concrete, chain link fence, nothing to suggest it housed horrors. We parked 2 blocks away, 2 a.m. The shift change Dorian had predicted. Theo and Sienna aren't here yet, I said. We go anyway, Caspian said. Those Omegas can't wait. I pulled the ventilation grate open. The shaft was tight, dark, exactly as terrifying as I'd imagined. I'll go first, I said. Create the distraction. You 3 come in through the main entrance. If anything goes wrong, Lucien started. It won't. If it does, he insisted. Run. Don't try to be a hero. Too late for that. I climbed into the shaft before they could argue. The metal was cold against my palms. My heart hammered so loud I was sure someone would hear it. The shaft opened into a hallway. Empty. I dropped down, landed quiet. The facility was sterile. White walls, fluorescent lights, the smell of antiseptic and fear. I found the holding area. 10 cages, 8 still occupied, 2 empty. 2 had already died. The Omegas looked up when I entered. Hope and terror warring in their expressions. I'm getting you out, I whispered. The youngest one, the one from the video, pressed against the bars. They're waiting for you. It's a trap. I know, but I'm here anyway. I picked the first lock. Hunter training coming in handy. The cage opened. That's when the alarms went off. Guards poured in. 20, maybe more, all armed. I fought. Used every trick Father had taught me before he decided I was worthless. Took down 3 before they overwhelmed me. A gun pressed to my head. Don't move, the guard said. Through the bond, I felt the triplets. They were inside, fighting their way to me. Then the doors opened, and Marcus walked in. He was alive. Bruised, bloodied, but alive. Surprise, he said. Shaw kept me around, said I might still be useful. Marcus, don't, just don't. He looked different, broken. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Before I could respond, another door opened. Captain Shaw entered. My mentor, the man who'd trained me, who'd been the only one to believe in me after Father cast me out. His glamour dropped. Vampire. Ancient. Crimson eyes that had seen centuries. Hello, Asher, he said. Did you miss me? Everything clicked into place. The convenient training, the support when no one else would help, the way he'd always known where I was. You've been watching me, I said. My whole life. I made your life, Shaw corrected. Every moment, every choice. I designed you from conception, bred you from Amelie's bloodline, raised you in my facility until you were 5, then wiped your memories and placed you with operative parents. The Lowells. Dead now. Car accident in 2015. Outlived their usefulness. He smiled. Marcus was more valuable, stayed close, reported everything. Why? Because I needed you to find the princes, to bond with them, to create the perfect hybrid connection I can replicate. He moved closer. You're my masterpiece, Asher. 25 years of planning, and you performed beautifully. The triplets burst through the doors. Saw Shaw, saw me surrounded. Don't, Shaw called, or he dies. They froze. Shaw gestured. A woman entered. Old, tired, lab coat stained with things I didn't want to identify. Dr. Helena Graves, Shaw said, my lead researcher. She'll be extracting samples from all 4 of you. The bonded biology that makes you special. I didn't want this, Graves said. Her voice shook. I wanted to help people. You experimented on children, I spat. I know. Tears streaked her face. I've known for years, but I couldn't stop. Couldn't admit I wasted 50 years on a lie. Helena, Shaw said, prepare the subjects. She looked at me. At the caged Omegas, at the destruction she'd caused. No, she said. I won't hurt them anymore. Shaw's expression didn't change. He pulled a gun, shot her. She fell, dead before she hit the ground. Anyone else want to develop morals? Shaw asked. Through the chaos, I saw it. A computer. Files open. My name, Subject A1. Photos of me as an infant, age 1 through 5 in a white room. Other children, 6 of them, all dead. Subject A2 through A7, deceased. Incompatibility. I was the only survivor. My biological parents, terminated 2002, Security protocol. Memory wipe, 2006. Neural implant installed. Trigger phrase. Return what was stolen. Shaw smiled. Asher. Return what was stolen. My body went rigid. The programming activated. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. My hands reached for a weapon against my will. No! I screamed inside my head. But my body didn't listen. I attacked Dorian. Stabbed him with silver. Asher. His voice. Confused. Hurt. Compliance protocol active, I heard myself say. Flat. Empty. I moved toward Caspian next. He's programmed, Caspian shouted. Don't fight back. They didn't fight. Even as I hurt them. Even as I became the weapon Shaw designed. Through the bond, I felt their love. Their refusal to give up. Lucien crawled toward me. Took my hand, the one holding the weapon. You are not what was done to you, he whispered. You are what you choose. Choose us. Choose yourself. The bond blazed. Love overwhelming programming. I fought back. Inside my own mind. Clawing for control. I choose them, I screamed. I choose love. The programming shattered. I collapsed. Gasping. Free. Impossible, Shaw hissed. Explosions rocked the facility. Theo had arrived. Was blowing the research wing remotely. Sienna burst through the doors with her pack, werewolves tearing through guards. Shaw ran. Marcus tried to follow. Shaw snapped his neck without breaking stride. The facility was burning. We grabbed the Omegas. Ran. Outside, we watched it burn. 8 rescued. 2 dead. Marcus dead. Graves dead. Shaw escaped. But we were alive. And the bond had proven stronger than any programming. We did it, I said. We survived, Caspian corrected. For now, that was enough. Sienna's pack took us to their safe house in Lafayette, an hour from Baton Rouge, far enough that the Covenant wouldn't find us immediately. The rescued Omegas were given medical care, food, safety, things they'd been denied for months, maybe years. Javier had been shot during the assault, would heal in days with werewolf biology. Dorian's silver wounds were closing already, but Lucien was worst. Multiple stab wounds from when I'd attacked him. Silver poisoning spreading through his system like acid. My fault? All my fault. Stop, Lucien said. He was lying on a couch, pale as death. I can feel your guilt through the bond. Stop it. I almost killed you. Shaw almost killed me. You broke free. After I stabbed you 3 times. I've had worse. That's not comforting. I'm not trying to comfort you. I sat beside him, pressed my hand to his forehead. He was cold. Too cold even for a vampire. You need blood, I said. I'll heal. Faster with blood. Take mine. Asher, please, let me help. Let me do something that isn't destroying everything I touch. He studied me, then nodded. His fangs sank into my wrist, gentle despite his weakness. The pull was strange, intimate. I felt it through the bond. His relief, his gratitude. When he finished, color had returned to his face. The wounds were closing faster. Thank you, he said. You took a bullet for me. Multiple stabs. It's the least I can do. You broke programming for us. I'd say we're even. The rescued Omegas were in another room. I could hear them talking quietly, crying, processing trauma that would take years to heal. One of them appeared in the doorway. Maya, the youngest, 19 with eyes too old for her face. Thank you, she said, for coming, for saving us. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. Sorry 2 of you died before we got there. You saved 8 of us. That's what matters. She moved closer. They told me about you, that you were part of their project. Subject A1. Yeah, but you chose differently. You're the reason I'm alive. Her words cracked something in my chest. I'd spent the last hours drowning in guilt, replaying every moment I'd hurt my mates, every second I'd been a weapon. But she was alive because I'd chosen to fight, to break free, to save people instead of destroy them. Thank you, I said. She smiled. Small, fragile, but real. Then she left. I sat in the silence. The bond hummed. Caspian and Dorian were outside, talking with Sienna about next steps, about Shaw still being out there, about the Covenant's off-site backups Theo couldn't reach. The fight wasn't over, but we'd won the battle. I want the implant out, I said suddenly. Lucien looked at me. What? The neural implant, the one Shaw used to control me. I want it removed. I want my body to be mine. Theo might be able to help, Lucien said. He's skilled with magical extraction. I found Theo outside, young, angry, covered in soot from blowing up the research wing. Can you remove a neural implant? I asked. Magical or technological? Both, I think. Shaw said it was witch spell matrix plus hardware. Theo's expression darkened. Yeah, I can remove it, but it'll hurt. The spell is woven into your neural pathways. Ripping it out will feel like your brain is on fire. Do it anyway. You sure? I need to know it's gone. Need to know Shaw can't trigger it again. He can't. You broke the programming. The bond proved stronger. I still want it out. Theo nodded. Give me an hour to prep. The extraction took 30 minutes. 30 minutes of pain so intense I couldn't scream, could only grip Caspian's hand and endure. When it was done, Theo handed me a tiny chip, smaller than my fingernail. This controlled you for 19 years, he said. I held it. This piece of metal and magic that had stolen my choices, my autonomy, my life. I crushed it, ground it under my boot until it was dust. It's over, I said. It's really over. Not yet, Caspian said. He'd been beside me the entire time. Shaw escaped. He'll rebuild. Come back. Then we'll be ready. Will we? Dorian asked. He joined us, still favoring his side where I'd stabbed him. Shaw has resources, centuries of planning, off-site backups we couldn't destroy. He's not going to stop. Neither are we, I said. Through the bond, I felt their agreement, their determination. We'd won the battle. But the war was just beginning. Night fell. Sienna's pack provided rooms, privacy, space to process everything that had happened. We gathered in one room, all four of us, no grand speeches, just presence. I failed you, Caspian said quietly. Should have suspected something was wrong sooner. Should have protected you better. You couldn't have known, I said. That's what terrifies me. I can't protect you from everything, and I hate that. I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be here. Dorian sat beside me. When you attacked me, part of me wanted to let you. If it meant freeing you from the programming, I'd have taken every wound. Don't ever do that, I said. Then don't ever think you're not worth saving. Lucien took my hand. I knew you were programmed, the visions through the bond. I saw the white rooms, the other children. I should have told you. Why didn't you? Because you needed to know the love was real first. Needed to believe your choices mattered before facing the truth that so much had been stolen from you. And now? Now you know. You broke free. Chose us. Chose yourself. That's all that matters. I looked at them. My mates. My bonded. My pack. I don't know who I would have been without Shaw, I said. Don't know if the person I am now is who I was supposed to be, but I know who I choose to be. And I choose this. You. Us. In every lifetime, Caspian said. Without hesitation, Dorian added. 1,000 times, Lucien finished. We held each other. No sex. Too raw. Too soon. Just closeness. Touch that healed instead of hurt. I fell asleep wrapped in their arms. Safe. Protected. Home. When I woke, morning light filtered through curtains. News played on a TV somewhere. Industrial accident in Baton Rouge, 43 casualties. Sienna's pack had staged it, made it look like a gas explosion. Theo wiped footage. Shaw framed graves posthumously. We were persons of interest, but we had alibis. Witnesses who'd swear we were nowhere near Baton Rouge. We need to lay low, Sienna said. She stood in the doorway. Shaw will be looking for you. All of you. We can't hide forever, I said. No, but you can hide long enough to get stronger, smarter, better prepared. What about the rescued Omegas? My pack has a network, safe houses across the South. They'll be cared for, given therapy, time to heal. She paused. One of them, Maya, asked about you. Said she wants to help others like her. An idea sparked. Small but growing. I want to build something, I said. A sanctuary. For Omegas who've been hurt by the supernatural world, people with nowhere else to go. Like Amelie House, Dorian said softly. What? Name it after our first mate. Honor her memory by helping others. The bond swelled. Approval, love, grief transformed into purpose. Family house, I repeated. I like it. We have resources, Caspian said. Old vampire wealth. Let's use it for something good. And I'll help them heal, Lucien added. Trauma therapy. I understand it now. We had a plan. Not just for survival, for building something that mattered. Shaw was still out there. The fight wasn't over. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of what came next. I had my mates. I had a purpose. I had the one thing Shaw could never take from me, my choice. 3 months later, the Garden District mansion looked different in spring light. We'd reclaimed it through ancient vampire property rights. Caspian had spent weeks navigating legal documents that predated Louisiana's statehood, but it was ours now. Home. I stood on the porch, watching jasmine bloom. The same jasmine that had perfumed the air the night I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. Except it hadn't been a mistake. You're thinking too loud, Dorian called from inside. I can feel your emotions through the bond. Very distracting when I'm trying to film. I walked back in. He'd set up his phone on a tripod, was recording another TikTok. This one about vampire reactions to modern dating apps. This Tinder thing is fascinating, he said to the camera. Humans just swipe on faces and hope for compatibility? In my time, we had arranged marriages and blood feuds. Much more romantic. That's not romantic, I said. See? My mate agrees. Subscribe for more vintage vampire content. He'd become surprisingly internet famous. 300,000 followers who thought he was joking about being an actual vampire. He used the platform to educate about supernatural rights, to normalize what society had forgotten. Caspian had opened a bookstore in the quarter. Delacroix & Co. Rare books and comfortable chairs and endless knowledge. He loved it. Loved helping people find stories that would change them the way stories had sustained him through 500 years. Lucien ran therapy groups at Amelie House, the sanctuary we'd built for displaced supernatural omegas. Maya lived there now. 6 others too, learning to trust again, to heal. The house sat 3 blocks from the mansion, close enough that I could walk there every morning, far enough that residents had privacy. We'd put up a memorial wall, photos of the 6 Genesis program children who'd died, a 2 through a 7, names we'd found in Shaw's files. Children who'd suffered so I could survive. The plaque read, "For those who couldn't choose, we choose for them compassion." I visited it every day. Promised them their deaths wouldn't be meaningless. Asher, Caspian called from the kitchen. Dinner's ready. And I only burned it a little. I laughed. Real. Easy. The kind of laugh I'd forgotten how to make. We gathered around the table. A table that seated 4 perfectly, like it had been waiting centuries for us. Caspian had made pasta. It was slightly charred. The sauce was lumpy, but he tried. That mattered more than perfection. This is terrible, Dorian said cheerfully. I know, Caspian agreed, but it's made with love. Love doesn't make up for carbon content. It absolutely does. I ate it anyway, because Caspian's terrible cooking was more precious than any restaurant meal, because this was family, chosen, real. After dinner, we moved to the living room, our evening ritual. I read aloud while they listened. Tonight's selection, Mary Oliver poetry. I opened to a marked page, read slowly. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? The words hung in the air, heavy, beautiful. I looked up, met 3 pairs of crimson eyes. I think I'm doing it, I said. Building sanctuaries? Caspian asked. Saving people? No. I closed the book. This, right here. Being honest, being seen, being loved despite everything I've been and everything I've done. The bond swelled, warm, solid, unbreakable. You make it sound like you're hard to love, Dorian said. I am. I'm broken, programmed, made in a lab by a monster. You're not broken, Lucien said. Firm. You're healing. There's a difference. Shaw made my body, I said. But you 3 helped me make my soul. Caspian's hand found mine. We didn't make anything. We just gave you space to become who you already were. And who's that? Someone brave, Dorian said. Someone who breaks programming through sheer force of will. Someone who saves strangers, Caspian added, even when it costs everything. Someone who chooses love, Lucien finished, even when fear would be easier. I wanted to argue, wanted to point out all my failures, All the moments I'd been weak, scared, wrong. But the bond wouldn't let me lie. Not to them. Not to myself. A knock interrupted the moment. We tensed. 3 months of peace had made us paranoid. Every unexpected sound was Shaw returning. Every shadow was a threat. Caspian answered the door. I heard Sienna's voice. Sorry to interrupt, she said, appearing in the living room with her usual no-nonsense energy. But we got a hit. Shaw's been spotted. The warmth evaporated. Cold reality crashed back. Where? I asked. New Orleans, French Quarter. 2 hours ago. Theo's tracking him now. The bond pulsed. Fear, determination, rage. We end this, Caspian said. Tonight, together, Dorian agreed. Once and for all, Lucien finished. I stood. But something was different this time. 3 months ago, I would have been terrified, would have run or tried to sacrifice myself or fallen apart. Now I was calm. Let him come, I said. We're ready. Because we were. We'd trained, prepared, built a life worth protecting. Shaw had made me a weapon. But I'd become something he never expected. A person. With choices. With family. With love that no programming could break. What's the plan? Sienna asked. We don't go to him, I said. We let him come to us. This is our territory now. Our home. He wants me. He'll have to face all of us. He'll bring backup, Sienna warned. So will we, Caspian said. Call your pack. Call Theo. Call everyone who owes us favors. Tonight we finish what Shaw started 500 years ago. Sienna grinned. About damn time. She left to make calls. We stood in our living room. Our home, the place we'd built from ashes and choice. Are you scared? Dorian asked me. Terrified, I admitted. But not of Shaw, not of dying. I'm scared of losing this. Losing you three. Losing the life we've built. Then we don't lose it, Caspian said. We fight for it. With everything we have. Lucien agreed. I looked around the room. At the books lining the shelves. At the photos on the mantel. Maya smiling at Amelie House's opening. The four of us at Caspian's bookstore launch. Dorian's first viral TikTok printed and framed. Moments, memories, a life built from choice instead of programming. I used to think I was alone, I said. That staying isolated was the only way to survive. That letting people close would destroy me. What do you think now? Lucien asked. I think isolation was destroying me, and connection saved me. The bond blazed. Hot, solid, real. Shaw can come, I said. The covenant can rebuild. The world can throw whatever it wants at us. We'll face it together, Caspian said. And we'll win, Dorian added. Because love is stronger than programming, Lucien finished. I moved to the window, looked out at the garden district, at the mansion that had been a prison for 500 years and was now home. Shaw was out there, watching, planning, waiting, but so were we. I turned back to my mates, my bonded, my pack. Ready? I asked. All three nodded. We stood together. United, chosen family facing an uncertain future. But that was okay. Because I'd learned something in 3 months, something Shaw could never understand. Power isn't control. It's not forcing people to obey. It's not programming or manipulation or fear. Power is this: choosing to be vulnerable, choosing to love, choosing to build instead of destroy. Shaw made my body, but I made my life. And that life was worth fighting for. I made a mistake that night in the Garden District. I staked the wrong target, shattered a seal I didn't understand, woke 3 vampires I wasn't prepared for. But it was the best mistake I ever made. They said I was made to be a weapon, a tool, a key to unlock power for someone else. They were wrong. I was made for this, standing with the people I love, facing whatever comes next. Not because I was programmed to, not because I had no choice, because I chose it. Shaw can come, the covenant can rebuild, the world can throw whatever it wants at us. We'll face it together, and we'll win. Because love, real, chosen, earned love is stronger than any programming. They wanted to make me a weapon. Instead, I became myself, and that was enough. Months later, I woke to sunlight streaming through bedroom windows and Dorian's terrible singing in the shower. The Garden District mansion had become home. Not the place I'd accidentally stumbled into that terrifying night, but something we'd built together. Every room held memories now. Good ones. I padded downstairs. Found Caspian in the kitchen attempting breakfast. The smoke alarm hadn't gone off yet. Progress. Morning, he said, kissing my forehead. I made coffee. Successfully. My hero. Lucien was already awake, reading on the couch. He looked up when I entered. Smiled. Small. Rare. Perfect. Through the bond, I felt them. Always. A constant warmth that reminded me I was never alone. My phone buzzed. Text from Maya at Amelie House. Morning meeting at 10. New resident arriving. She's scared. Thought you could help. I smiled. Typed back. I'll be there. This was my life now. Running a sanctuary. Helping Omegas who'd been hurt find safety. Teaching self-defense classes. Planting gardens. Building something that mattered. No more hiding. No more shame. No more pretending to be anything other than exactly who I was. What are you thinking? Dorian asked, appearing in a towel. Hair dripping. That I'm happy. I said. Simple. True. Good, he said. You deserve it. We gathered for breakfast. Caspian's pancakes were only slightly burnt. We ate them anyway, laughing, teasing, existing in the gentle comfort of chosen family. I looked around the table. At 3 vampires who'd been asleep for 500 years, who'd woken to find me, who'd chosen to stay. I love you, I said. All of you. We know, they said together. We love you too. The bond blazed. Warm, solid, unbreakable. Shaw had tried to make me a weapon. Instead, I became myself. And that was more than enough. The end. Thank you for watching this story to the end. I hope you enjoyed it.